Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Mental Side with myself, Coach Rob Hamley, brought to you by Slugger Sports Academy. Today is Tuesday Talk edition. Before we get to today's Tuesday Talk, thank you for being here wherever you're at, whenever you're listening. We thank you for being a part of this community. If you would please give this video and channel a like, maybe even share out the link to somebody that you think would find benefit in it, a teammate, family member, or just somebody who you know is working to learn more on the art of meditation, mindfulness, and positive thinking. Definitely something that we can use more of in this world is more people moving forward with positive thinking, spreading the energy, and just doing our part to be our best selves to benefit those around us. So today's Tuesday talk is going to be on Seneca, who was one of the ancient Stoics in the Roman world. And I've really enjoyed reading through the Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday. I really recommend it. Each day has a reading from one of the ancient Stoics. And if you get the chance, I highly recommend it. And it pairs with a journal. So read the readings, and then you journal on what you read. And I've put that into my daily routine, one of my priorities, and I consider that part of my self-education. So yesterday on Monday Movement, we talked on making sure we have priorities and sticking with them. And so that reading piece is what I use to help get my day moving in the right direction. And by journaling on what I've read, it really helps internalize it, and it also gives me something to refer back to throughout the day. And so Seneca, why I really enjoyed this reading was Seneca was a pretty interesting guy for the fact that he grew up poor, wasn't from a really known Roman family, and in ancient Rome really was based on a social hierarchy, and it was really hard to move forward in society if you weren't from the right family. However, Seneca found himself as a advisor, philosopher to the Roman Emperor Nero. And Seneca's a really interesting guy in his views and the simplicity of his teachings, and he had a profound impact on many other great Romans besides just Emperor Nero. So Seneca, today he talks on his routine, or what his priorities were throughout the day. And I'm just going to go through that list with you and then break it down and talk a little bit on that and how we can apply that to our own days. So first he talked about waking up early. Then he said stick to his routine, treat everyone he met as an opportunity for kindness, look for one nugget of wisdom, prepare for adversity, write to a friend, meditate on his mortality, and then put his day up for review. And it sounds like from that list that would be what he would do in sequential order. Now let's look at how those priorities can be applied to our own. So waking up early. I know for my teenage guys, that's probably not something you want to hear. However, it is a good idea to get up early at a decent time. Get yourself in that mode of getting up, eating a good breakfast, and getting your day going. And I know just from being a teacher and a coach, I hear from my students and my players all the time who, sleep into noon or 1, and then they still feel sluggish. So maybe it's kind of, counterproductive. We're getting our bodies up, moving, gives us a jump on the day. And if you think about how we only have 24 hours in a day, if we're just sleeping the day away, someone's getting a jump on us. Someone somewhere is out training us. And if that doesn't jolt you awake, then maybe we need to reassess our priorities. So waking up early, stick to a routine, and some kind of routine. Get up, maybe go and do some stretching, a run, eat a good breakfast, get water in you. Just that whatever it's going to take to get your mind in the correct headspace to go into the world and do good and give your absolute best. We've all been there where we wake up and we just kind of fall into the day. We feel like we never really got our footing because we just fell out of bed. We quick rush out the door, We didn't get our mind working. We just jumped right on social media. We started letting the happenings of the world infiltrate our minds and then really dictate our feelings and emotions. And so I would encourage you, come up with a routine that's all about you. Maybe it's even just sitting in quiet for 10 minutes and just reflecting on how you want the day to go, what you have going on, look at your calendar, plan the day out. And I think many of you would find great benefit in this where you don't feel like the day is just happening. You feel like you're going through the day with purpose. So sticking to a routine is a great priority. Treat everyone he met as an opportunity for kindness. What great words for today's world. Looking at every interaction that we have with a fellow human being, whether that be a classmate, teammate, coworker, just somebody on the street, we can use it as an opportunity to spread kindness. And, in that interaction, if you have the intent of how can I make this person happier by having this interaction with me, that's going to bring a lot of good. Just simple random acts of kindness. I know we've heard this since we were little kids. However, really being intentful and purposeful in our interactions with our fellow man. Look for one nugget of wisdom. And if you think about it, like instead of just going through the day and maybe happen to learn something, you are searching for a lesson, maybe from a reading or from another person. And even if it's somebody showing you a negative way of doing it, that's still one piece of wisdom. You just learned one way of not doing something. So searching for a piece of wisdom every single day. Prepare for adversity. One thing I've learned from the ancient Stoics, I know I've heard Marcus Aurelius talk on it in his meditations, is prepping the mind for adversity. Just like in baseball, it's a game that inherently has failure built into it. I mean, guys who get into the Hall of Fame are unsuccessful 60, 70% of the time. And so when we can think about the adversity that might happen to us, we can then get our mind wrapped around it. And I'm not saying dwell on negativity or dwell on what could or may happen, right? We've talked about that in the past of we can't predict the future, right? We can't go back into the past, right? Yesterday owes you nothing. So we need to be present, be focused, but just also get your mind wrapped around what adversity might be coming your way so when it does come, you can handle it. Just like in baseball practices, we practice for the things that could happen, right? We've talked about it before. Putting a ball on the tee, middle of the plate, belt high, and just swinging at that for 30 minutes is not going to make you any better. We need to learn how to handle pitches all over the zone at different heights with different movement. Right fielders, we need to practice for all kinds of different ground balls, fly balls, and the fact that the ball might hit a rock or just might take a weird hop off the lip or whatever. It's baseball. So looking and being ready for adversity. Write to a friend. If you choose to use snail mail, good for you. There is powerful in the human word and writing, and because you have to put your thoughts really through an editorial process. You're putting it on paper and then you have to put it in the mail. So you're really going through a whole process. I've done this before with postcards. People don't receive postcards anymore, but who doesn't like receiving something in the mail? And it shows you took the time to think about that person and put your thoughts on the paper. If you don't want to write a letter, shoot a text to someone, right? We live in this modern digital world. Shoot a text, send an email, make a phone call. Think of one person that you can have a positive impact on just by reaching out to them. Okay? Say hello. He would meditate on his mortality. And some of you might be thinking that's kind of morbid. But realizing that we live in a finite world where we eventually will not be here. And when you understand that and realize that, you're going to cherish each and every moment. You're going to look at the day in a completely different light, a completely different lens. So understanding that you are finite and you only have so much time on this earth. Go out there and do everything you can to make each and every day something that you would be proud of, which leads us into then put his day up for review. Not dwelling, but reviewing the day. What went well, what didn't go so well, and when things that didn't go well, what do we learn from them? And the things that did go well, if we found ourselves experiencing greatness and great joy, enjoy it, love it, cherish it. However, we can't get hung over on it. I know I've heard Coach K for Duke basketball talk on how he continues to find ways for his teams to have success year in and year out. And his rationale, his reasoning was he doesn't get hung over on the champagne. So enjoy the moment, celebrate, however, be ready to move on and get right back to work tomorrow. So again, in review, Seneca looked at his priorities like this: wake up early, stick to his routine, treat everyone he met as an opportunity for kindness, look for one nugget of wisdom, prepare for adversity, write to a friend, meditate on his mortality, and put his day up for review. And yours doesn't have to look exactly like that. Really give yourself a review and look at what your priorities are, what matters to you, and are they in alignment with your goals and what you're trying to accomplish. And if they're not, that's okay. Maybe they just need to move further down the list or off your list. And I would encourage you to share those priorities with someone. Share them with a friend. Have an accountability buddy, somebody that's going to help you stay with your priorities. All right? So that's your Tuesday talk. I'd love to hear from you. Give a little comment below. Shoot me an email or find me on social media at RobHamley88 or at Coach Hamley. And let us know what you're doing, what your priorities look like. And I look forward to hearing more from you. And we'll see you tomorrow for our Wednesday word. And until then, keep slugging.